Hi, I'm Jade, and I just finished reading this book, The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. And I just finished the last couple of chapters, probably about the last 50 pages, because I was waiting till the end, so that my vlog would be fresh and I would remember everything that I would be talking about. So, one thing when I was reading that I thought was really interesting was after Junior found out that his sister died, and he was laughing and hysterically and freaking out, and his dad came to pick him up from his school, and he got in the car and he was laughing and laughing, and all of a sudden he puked in his mouth, and he puked a cantaloupe, a little piece of cantaloupe, and he thought it was really weird because he hated cantaloupe and he hadn't had it since he was a little boy. And then he realized that his sister loved cantaloupe, and I just thought that was an interesting part of the story, and I liked how the author put that in. And that was on page 205, just in case you wanted to know. And another part I liked that the author did was on page 225 when Junior is talking back about memories that he had with his best friend Rowdy, and they were climbing the biggest tree in the reservation. And he said, top of the tree, bottom of the sky, which is like an explanation of how tall the tree was, and I thought that was really interesting way to put it. Instead of saying the tree is tall, he said top of the tree, bottom of the sky. And then in the last couple chapters, Junior does talk a lot about past memories with his best friend Rowdy, who he hasn't really been talking to lately. And also his sister dies, and he finds that out. And then summer begins, and Junior realizes that he has made like a huge accomplishment this year, because he finished a whole entire year at Reardon, which is an all-white school, and he dealt with racism, and he left the reservation, which no one had done in a really long time. So he was pretty proud of himself. And then a prediction for my last blog that was wrong was I predicted that Junior's sister would come back, but actually like come back to visit because she went away and married some guy and was living in a trailer. But instead of that happening, the author decided to kill her off, and after Junior's grandma died, and then Junior's dad's best friend died, and then to top it off, to put more grief, the author killed his sister, which, I mean, I guess that's probably how the life on reservation is, like everyone dies. And it's mostly the cause of alcoholism, which like, that's really sad. And then at the very end of the story, Rowdy helps Junior realize something, and he says it kind of metaphorically. He talks about how Rowdy talks about how Junior's the only nomadic person left in the reservation, and that everyone used to be nomadic. All the Indians on the reservation used to be nomadic, but now Junior's the only one, because he's the only one who left the reservation to go accomplish things, and no one else has tried that. And nomadic means like going, like traveling to find food and water. And Rowdy was is like pretty proud, and then the story ends with Rowdy and Junior just playing basketball for hours on end in the summertime, and then life is good when the story ends. I mean, and then that's the end of the story. And I thought that this book would be like pretty easy to read. I mean, it is, and there's like pictures and things, but I mean, there's a lot of like emotional things in the story, and a lot of like real things that probably happen at reservations in the story. So, thank you for listening.